Good evening everyone. Welcome to this market outlook for this Monday 27th of June 2022. Didn't do a market review this past week. Wasn't able to. Apologies if you were waiting for it, but currently no one's really watching these videos, so it's more just for my own documenting at this point. So you can see here gold. Last week we popped above and then we fell back down to this 1835 to 1830 price region. Stayed in there for a few days before we dropped down, confirming that price had the momentum to break through it, and then you can see we've popped up. This is today, so it's not over. So we'll have 9 to 10 hours remaining in the day. So currently we're rejecting the upper side of it, and will we continue that down through 1806 this week. And in the coming weeks I'm looking for gold to fall back down as low as 17.15, as we've touched on before. But one step at a time. One step, two step, previous low, and then first level, second level, possibly lower. Silver, much the same, except it's been a bit weaker. You can see the candles showing more bearish momentum to the downside. We only had one day there on the 23rd, whereas silver 23rd and 22nd, which means silver has been leading gold. Tend to sometimes have a bit of a lag, but one is telling the truth. So you can see here we've fallen down, come back to retest this price area, 21.41, 21.20. Currently today, same as gold, 9 hours or so left in the daily candle. Currently we're rejecting this upper boundary, 21.41. Will we continue that, going back past the previous low, lowest low, breaking that onto 20.06, and then like gold in the coming weeks I'm looking to target $19. Looking for silver to move down to $19. Oil, take this off log. You can see last week we had a drive to the downside. Still a higher low here compared to this previous low and the lows before that. So still bullish, even though it's a deep retracement. If we measure this from the swing low to the swing high, if we remove this, oh, wrong one. Look, it rejected 0.786 and the body's all closed above. So perfect. In the overall range of this current pattern that's been forming, you can see it went up right up to 0.382, just getting quite bullish. Didn't break this previous high, so it can fool a lot of people there. But here we have a deep retracement. Now we're looking with this momentum starting to kick back in. Will we continue to the upside? And that's what I'm expecting with oil, for another drive higher. UK oil, much the same. Continuation to the upside from here. Unless anything changes, of course. This reverses tonight, we break this low, and then this next low. At that point I'm starting to look, okay, short term bearish, we're going deeper. Or has the trend changed on the daily chart? As you can see, this monthly, it's had a good run. So are we going to pull back? If we measure on the monthly, swing low, swing high to the very wick, 0.618 pullback would be 93.35. Sometimes the wick cannot justify or give you a good indication, so with that sort of crazy wick, measure from the bodies. That's where the majority of price was. So will we see a pullback to 87.80? or will it not even pull back that far, or will we just continue higher from here before having that monthly pullback? Wait and see. Dollar, another drive up to the upside on the weekly here, rejected, down last week. Not too much, it sort of came down back to 104 region, and it's just been trading in a very small tight range. You can see all the opens and closes bar this one and this one have stayed there. So we came down, haven't broken this previous low, so still currently bullish, and looking for dollar or the DXY to continue higher. 105 level first, 106.421, and then make a new all-time high. Well, not all-time, but a new high, breaking this previous one up to 108 region. 10-year yields. Got a drive down last week. Closed the Friday rejecting this 3.09% price level I had drawn, and looking for a pullback into there, and look, the body closed perfectly above it. Amazing, like it's pinpoint. And now we're driving up again today, looking for yields, because once again still bullish. Previous low, current low. Until we break here, I'm bullish. Break here, then we reassess. Is it going lower? Yields falling, money going into bonds. That's what that means. So looking for yields to continue higher in this coming week and the coming weeks, up through these levels here, 3.31 and 3.4%, then 3.653%. And at that point, will this 5-wave Elliott wave pattern be over, and therefore getting a deep pullback on this monthly chart, which, as you can see, if we measure, well, that was meant to be the retracement, so let's remove it now, because we're definitely bullish because we've broken this high. Let's draw it, and you'll see we could pull back as far as 1.55. First target you'd be looking at 2.3, but same again, if this is the change of trend for this wave 2, will we get a deeper pullback? But first, it's currently still bullish yield, so money is flowing out of bonds. Remember, the debt market, the bond market's the biggest market, and apparently the ECB, European Central Bank, has been stepping in the last week or two for some emergency reasons, probably trying to prop up the bond market, I suspect. Anyway, moving on, Dow Jones got this big drive higher, 1, 2, 3, this big drive higher on the Friday. This is the last drive higher into these regions that we were looking for a pullback up into before reversing, or will we continue higher up, retesting around here before turning around? Until we break this high, previous high here, I'm still bearish. Once again, break this, we reassess, and I'll be looking for a higher low to confirm that change of trend and the price to continue bullish. At that point, I'll change my stance. Until then, I'm bearish. S&P 500, much the same. You can see last week, same as the Dow, big drive higher on the Friday, broke this first region. I was looking for a pullback, and it's now in the second region. Will we get a drive higher today, or will we get a doji or not much volume fight between the buyers and sellers today, meaning that price didn't go anywhere, which sort of indicates that it's cooling off, and the momentum then will kick in to the overall trend, which is bearish. Driving back through this low onto our overall targets that we've touched on in the previous weeks. Nasdaq, this had a bigger drive higher compared to the Dow and the S&P, but same thing. Not sure why I don't have my levels on that. Let's check. This is the composite. There you go. It's up into that range there. Will it fill this gap before continuing bearish, or will we go up higher? Same thing, we break this high, then you look to reassess for continuation to the upside. Still bearish. Now the Russell, which has been leading, another drive up through this first price region, and now it's reaching up to the second region. So will we continue up tonight before rejecting and continuing down, or we break up a bit higher before turning around to continue bearish? Long bond, inverse to 10-year yields, drive higher last week, sell off Friday, today we're selling off. So will we get a continuation? Because remember, we're targeting 3.653 on yield, so if yields drive up higher here, the inverse to that on the long bond, you'd expect this to reverse, and currently looking at 130.01 as a sort of first price region for a turnaround before we get the primary wave 2. You can see we retrace perfectly up through this first region we were watching, and then second region. Bodies all closed below, wicked up into that region. Futures currently looking, haven't had much momentum so far, up 0.2 of 1%. So will we drive higher into this first range, second range, or will we turn from here? Possibly it will drive higher tonight, wicking up into here, but as a currently being bearish, I'm happy if it would just reverse from here too. Volatility currently up 3.5%, so that sort of is an indication that the stocks will sell off today because yields are higher. Dollars flat, 0.06% flat, rejecting this region as we touched on. Continue up there tonight, so bullish dollar. Yields rising, meaning bonds are, money's flowing out of bonds. Safety, getting the cash. And futures currently almost flat as well, so that's indicating currently that this could be a down day in the markets, but New York hasn't opened. Let's wait and see. Now if we quickly go here to Bitcoin and see, last couple of days we've had a drive higher. Is this the bottom? I think it's too early to tell. Needs much more development before we determine that. Will it retrace further, or will we get another test of these lows, a lower low, wiping out the stops here of people going long, or will we drive higher before coming down again and putting in a higher low? Too early to tell, wait and see. Ethereum much the same. Drive higher last few days. Will we continue lower now, higher low, or wipe out the stops here and possibly lower? XRP, much the same. Most of the market's very similar. The charts almost match. Currently XRP, same thing, up through the 20 EMA. Don't really pay attention, but I just have them drawn on this chart. Bit of volume here, you can see this green bar, but we're sort of slowed down. It's the sort of doji I mean when I refer to will we get that today in the S&P, which indicates that this momentum here the last few days is slowing. And see, look, very small buy volume compared to much higher sell off, some profit taking possibly, wicking currently still 9 hours or more, 11 hours for crypto, close at 10 AM here in Sydney, new daily candle. So will we get a drive lower, wiping out the stops, or will we come down higher low, continue the trend higher? So anyway, that's all from me for tonight. Just watching for those further moves. We'll just do a quick recap. So continue the downside in gold, continue to the downside in silver, continue to the upside in oil for the week, dollar higher, yields higher, and the stock market lower, all indices, Dow, S&P, Nasdaq, Russell, And volatility, if you get a sell-off, you expect volatility to rise, and possibly even another bearish movement in this coming week for crypto. I've actually taken some profits today and yesterday on some of my spot holdings, and I'll look to then for this low to be formed to buy in again. Never hurts to take profits. It's how you accumulate, and just be patient. So anyway, thanks again, and until next time, take care, play smart, be poised and measured in your decisions, and you'll be fine. Alright, thanks, see you.